Hey everyone, good afternoon. John up over here. Today is February 18th. You listen to No Vision Internet Radio and a week from Christmas. So I hope that Christmas music kind of put you in the mood. I hope it did anyways. And today we're going to be talking about various things, of course, that impact people that have a visual impairment. And well, my two co-hosts today are Mr. Jesus Bautista and Ms. Gemma. I'm going to mess up your last name. Gemma Cisneros. I said it wrong, didn't I? I'm sorry. I do that. I'm sorry. I have a hard time with my own last name. What are you talking about? So both of you, can you both introduce yourselves to our audience?
Yes, Gemma, welcome to our program. Muy bienvenida a nuestro programa. Boy, I'm getting tongue twisted now. I'm glad to have Gemma here with us tonight.
Gemma?
Hi, everybody. Good night. Good evening. Thank you, everybody, for being here. George, Mr. Bautista, thank you for inviting me. And I'm going to start charging people. If I just charge $1 for every time a person misspelled my name, I will be rich now.
Sorry about that now.
No,
it's because it's Cisneros and there's Cisneros and there's... So I do apologize, man.
You know, he's having a problem with your last name. I was having a problem with your first name. So
so basically, like we said, we're going to be talking about the different aspects when it comes to people living with a visual impairment. And those who are listening, that we want to make sure that we bring that message to you that, you know what, if you're newly blind or you got blind to a disease or disability or like, diabetes, you're not alone. You're not alone. Don't be afraid to ask for help. But before I go any further, Mr. Bautista, let me ask you this question, both of you. When it comes to Christmas, how does it feel to be? I mean, because I've been in the sighted world, and now I'm in the I'm visually impaired, so it changes my aspect of Christmas, like the Christmas tree and the lights and so. How does it for both of you? Has it changed for you, or is it the same, or?
Well, I have to tell you that I live on back memories, and I like that because I had some real good experiences growing up, and at home my mom used to have a Christmas tree. She didn't like the fake Christmas tree. She wanted a real Christmas tree, and so she always did that, and the lights, and I used to come down to the Plaza de los Lagartos, and when I was a paper boy, they used to decorate it real well every year. So I have real good fond memories, and I don't even look back to what now that I'm blind, because I live with those memories. I like those memories, and uh, the gift exchanging and all that. We've always had that, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect me because of my vision, because I'm
Okay.
losing my vision.
How about you, Miss Emma?
No, just like Mr. Bautista, I have a lot of memories. I just lost my sight like 6 years ago, so um, all of the memories are still like fresh in my brain, and the cooking when we're cooking, the smells and everything, and then I hug people a lot, my kids, my parents, my brother, my sister. So no, it's amazing. I think it's the same.
Yeah,
Well,
we we
let me
we
ask
have
you.
the we,
Go
we
ahead,
have
Miss.
we still go with the tamales and the and the sopapillas, and I mean and the menudo. I mean, when we get together, we don't get together as much anymore because of course we our kids are gone. My kids anyway, they're gone pretty much, but we still celebrate with the menudo and the tamales and that. And when they come over, we exchange our gifts or whatever, and have some menudo and tamales.
Okay.
It's still the same.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah. So, by the way, folks, if you want to be interactive, so if anyone that was listening wants to call in, ask a question, provide a comment, the number is 1-800-219-6663. That's 1-800-219-6663. And due to time restraints, we'll just ask you if you could just provide a comment or a question, and then we'll respond to it, all of us at one time. But again, 1-800-219-6663. So I wanted to ask you this, Ms. Hema, before we go further. It's kind of interesting because, like myself, when I was younger, my vision was 20/40 at the best. And then, of course, little by little, I lost my vision. And then Mr. Bautista for me, in other words, me and Mr. Bautista have always had a visual impairment since birth. And for you, was it a big change going from when you lost your vision?
He actually was. And it happened on a Sunday. I was driving to church with my kids, and then on my way there, I suddenly realized that I couldn't see the lines or the sidewalk and everything. So that's how it happened for me. And of course, at the beginning was a little challenging, scary, but now it's not at all. I feel blessed being blind and being in this country.
So basically, what we were trying to tell people is, whatever happens to you, how you lost your vision, or you're born with your vision loss, there's ways to adapt to it, folks. There's ways to like I said, talk to people. If you feel distressed, you feel whatever, suicidal, you feel anything, reach out to people, let them know, you know what, I'm having a hard time dealing with this. Like I told people in the first show, it happened to me when I lost my vision because I could see, like I said, 20/40, and then to where I could, only see shadows. Yeah, so suicide came into my mind. I went to therapy, but like I said, just go out there and talk to people, and I'm having issues. And you know what, folks, take advantage of tools that are out there to help us. And I'm going to talk about two tools real quick, or resources, before we start our discussion, just to give everybody a little more context that there's more resources out there. One of them that I've used, and actually me and Mr. Bautista, I don't know if you used it, Ms. Hema, is called Microsoft Tech Support. Have you ever used it for your computer?
No.
Okay, so the way it works is you call in the remote into your computer, but you know what? Before I even give you more description, I'll go ahead and play the audio.
Microsoft Disability Answer Desk title screen. Two men communicating in ASL sit on green chairs in a living room with a Surface Book nearby. Hi, I'm Ryan. And I'm Ben. And we work on the Microsoft Disability Answer Desk team. We're back today to talk to you about your holiday shopping and to make sure you know how to contact us if you need help setting up that new laptop running Windows 10. So, there's 3 things we want you to know. 1. Our team can help answer any technical questions you have about Windows or Office. 2. We can help using ASL. And 3. Our support is free. Ben uses the Surface Pen with the Surface Book. Exactly! So if you go out and buy an amazing Surface Book, for example, and want help customizing your settings or installing software, we're here to help, at no cost. If you have a video phone, use 503-427-1234 to connect with one of us, or you can visit our website at aka.ms/accessibility support for other contact details. Happy holidays! Microsoft logo in high contrast, sign language, Braille, and the standard Microsoft logo, Disability Answer Desk.
Folks, I'm telling you, it's 1-800-936-5900. 1-800-936-5900. Folks, I mean, they spend hours and hours on. I've used them for many, many years. It's free, and it's reputable. It's not like a scam. And you call in. I think it's Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. And then on the weekends, of course, it's from 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And like I said, just Monday.
George, I'd like to indicate also that I use it a lot, just like you do, because we don't have answers to everything, and instead of struggling, you call them up and you ask them. I'm having trouble with my drives, or I'm having trouble with my computer. It's not giving me the movement or whatever that I need, and they're real good about it. They'll come in and they'll take over your computer, and then they'll be working on what you need them to work on, and then they'll release you, and then you're on your way.
Yeah, because sometimes when those who use Windows, sometimes when there's buttons or a pop up on the window that we don't see because JAWS. But yeah, they'll say, "Oh no, it's this because of this." And I'm telling you, folks, like I said, use those tools. I know it's frustrating sometimes. Being visually impaired, you're like, "Crap, I can't do this, I can't do that." But just like I said, and another one, real fast, folks, I'm going to talk about. This is my favorite. Hint, hint. McDonald's.
Right. Okay.
Mr. Bautista laughing because I like McDonald's. Well, McDonald's folks, actually, to Freedom Scientific, McDonald's reached or sent out a message regarding they have now accessible kiosks. What that means is you can actually order your meal to a kiosk. It's accessible. It kind of sounds like Siri's in the back. Well, let me see. I'll go ahead and play the audio. You let me know.
Freedom Scientific, a Vispero brand.
Now for a demonstration of how to operate a McDonald's kiosk with audio navigation. First, the guest will need to make sure to bring a pair of headphones with a standard 3.5mm jack. When they arrive at the kiosk, they will locate the audio jack input near the navigation pad, where they can then connect their headphones. At this point, the guest will hear a welcome prompt with additional instructions on how to use audio navigation to order.
Welcome to McDonald's. The keypad on this kiosk has 4 arrow keys, a key with the circle on it in the middle of the arrow keys, and a square information key next to the headphone jack. Welcome to McDonald's. Press the right arrow key to move to the next item or the down arrow key to move to the next section.
The guest can use the navigation pad to explore the kiosk menu or the large touchscreen interface on the kiosk by swiping left, right, up or down, and double tapping to make a selection. When they are ready to place an order, the kiosk will prompt the guest with audible confirmations and additional questions.
Complete order. Where would you like to check out? Right here, credit only. Please follow the instructions on the PIN pad.
If paying with a card, they can complete their order with the convenient PIN pad next to the navigation pad. Otherwise, if the guest would like to pay with cash, the kiosk will instruct them to take their receipt to the cashier at the counter.
Please take your receipt to the counter to complete payment. Your receipt will print to the right of the payment terminal or to the left under the navigation keypad. Thank you. Welcome to McDonald's.
This has been a demonstration of how to operate a McDonald's kiosk with audio navigation.
Tell you what, folks, I want to take advantage of that. That's for darn sure.
That's the first
Well-
one to me, George. I didn't know they had that.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. It makes things more accessible for everybody, right, Miss Hema? So let's start the discussion, folks. And we want to be, tell our story. Some people might like cringe, like ugh, but people need to hear this, regarding the challenges to come or overcome those challenges when it comes to visual impairment. And what we want to talk about is two things: employment, and number two, I want Hema, if she could, talk about the perspective or how it is for a woman to live with a visual impairment. Because I know me and Mr. Bautista, we have different experiences. Our attitudes are different. But when it comes to a woman, I'm from shopping to going to anything. We want to talk about that too. Like I said, you want to give your comment or question, 1-800-219-6663. But let's go ahead and talk about employment first, folks. Unfortunately, this is hopefully it's not a long discussion, but perception from the employers would really hinders us to get a job. Thankfully, I am employed, and Mr. Bautista is retired, and Miss Hema at one time was employed too. But let me start with you, Miss Hema. What's your experience when it comes to employment? Now that you are visually impaired, is it harder to get a job now?
It is, and you will be surprised. We're
Bless
in
you.
2021, and there's still a lot of let's say discrimination out there. People think that because we can't see, we are not able to perform the task in the job or to learn, and that is completely like misunderstanding.
What it is they think because we're blind, we're either dumb, or in my experience, or deaf. They start yelling at you. I'm like, what are they? I'm not, I'm visually impaired, not
Part
deaf.
of it, George, is because we all have prejudices, and a lot of the prejudice that people grow up with turn into perceptions because then what they say is well we've always known that blind people are dumb or they're less than. I mean it's no different than when whites discriminate against blacks or brown because of their color. They just discriminate, but they have this prejudice that ahead of themselves that block their minds from giving people the opportunity or the chance to for employment. It's like Hema says, they right off the bat, you've got 3 strikes going against you. You're brown, you're blind, and you're dumb.
Yeah, well,
That's the way they see it.
that's the bad thing about it. That's the perception. That's what hinders us to become fully employed. When I mean fully employed, folks, not just work for $7 in a factory for 10 years. And I'm not going to name the names of the company, but I know of a company where we live that employs people with disabilities. However, you can work there for 15 years, folks, literally work for minimum wage. And then I'm like, wow, that's absurd. But the point is that it's up to us too to change that perception, be an example, not don't be an inspiration, but be an example. And but I don't know if you wanted to talk about this, Miss Hema. I don't want to put you on the spot, but did you have a recent incident when it came to employment?
I did. I applied to a big company, and I was hired. And I was hired with like 2.5 times the minimum wage right now. So my story is this: I applied like everybody in a website using the software that we blind people use, the JAWS software. And I applied. I got contact and I was asked to apply directly with the company, so I did it. And then I was required to complete some assessments, and I did. And then I they moved me to the next step, so I got an interview, and I passed the interview just like everybody else. So the day of the interview, I asked the employer, "Do you have experience hiring blind people?" They said, "Yes, we do. Not here in El Paso, but we do in another cities." So, and I also talked to them about JAWS. And they checked, they said they were going to check their compatibility with their system. So, like 2 weeks after, they reached back and said that the system was totally compatible. And so I was ready to start, and they had me waiting to start for like 3 months because they were saying that the split headset that I needed it was not here yet. So finally, I got to start in October, and after being there for a week, it came out that I had a little bit of trouble with the compatibility because my software was not reading me like some stuff on the screen, and I asked them to let my assistive technology specialist person to go in and help me fix those issues, and I was denied. So people from Texas Workforce also offered to help with the compatibility, and they were denied too. So after 1 week of being there, I was called to the conference room, and I was told that it was not point for me to continue with my training because their system was not compatible. So I told them that that was that not my, that was not on my side because I asked since the beginning, and they said that there was nothing that they could do. And just like that, they because I am blind, of course I can't drive, they requested an Uber for me and they sent me home.
Wow.
And as you can imagine, I was devastated because they don't understand that we are able to do stuff like anybody else. And
Exactly.
but they don't let us. They don't let us.
Exactly. And that's unfortunately people. You heard it right. You heard it right. They fired her because jobs were not compatible with their application, their environment, and unfortunately, same thing happened to me many years ago. We had to go to court. Basically, the same thing with me, Miss Emma. They walked me into the main office, and they even had security behind me, and they said, "Well, Mr. Zavala, we're gonna let you go." I'm like, "What?" And I came on time. I never missed work, and yeah, but Jaws. I'm like, well, what did I do? What did I do to fire to terminate me? They're like nothing, and yeah, they let me go, and that's the sad thing about it that we want to work. Like Miss Hema, she wants to go out there in the workforce, but there's all these things. So, but the thing is, folks, is Hema. This is a learning lesson, right? I mean, it's a life lesson actually, and maybe next time when applying for another job, those questions will be asked before they hire you. You know what I mean? Or anybody that has a visual impairment. You know?
But George, and this is the one thing that I've been the one issue that has really been on my mind is that uh, it was really easy and simple to terminate her, but Josh hasn't been held accountable for that. If it's a Jaws problem, Jaws needs to correct it, and the law says they have to correct it, and the law also says that the employer that terminated her, that they needed to correct the problem, or make a real honest effort, and neither one has done anything, and therefore we remain in the same situation. All blind people are going to be in the same situation another 20, 30, because I started working 25, 30 years ago with Jaws, and I'm still the same, and nothing has changed. They've improved the program for us in certain aspects, but the employment factor remains the same. None.
And that, you're right, because I mean, it goes both ways, I guess, folks. Freedom Scientific, the developer, and the employers, in each part of the U.S., wherever you're at, Massachusetts or New York or California, they all have rehabilitation
Centers, yeah.
agencies, and they should collaborate with JAWS and say, okay, guys, this, or Freedom Scientific, and this approach these employers and say, okay, how can we fix this? How can we make it more accessible to improve employment? Because believe it or not, folks, you probably already know this. I'm probably preaching to the choir, but 70% of people who are blind, 70, if not higher, are unemployed. That's if that was in the general public, we would be in a Great Depression, folks. Honestly.
And it's a shame, though, George, because I venture to say that if JAWS took the time, or this other employer took the time to go and send their engineers or talk to their engineers, they could fix that problem. Look, we've been to the moon. We're up there in space every other day now, and the technology is so sophisticated. I can't believe that they can't fix a small problem like that. Like you were indicating that the maps on the program that the transportation system uses, that they can't record the JAWS can't read it. That shouldn't be a big problem. The thing is that they don't want to spend money to help people with disabilities to get jobs. I mean, think about the thousands of jobs that would be available to us if these people just went ahead and tried to get that situation fixed, so that blind people, we're good on the computer.
Yep.
All of us are good on the computer.
But the thing is, folks, that's why this kind of program, we want to start those conversations, have that dialogue. Like I say, you want to call in, that's fine. 1-800-219-6663 and give your comments, give your questions, what you think, because we don't have all the answers. But still, that's somewhere to start. Somewhere to start to say, you know what, we need Freedom Scientific to step in, and participate in discussions. So, but at the end of the day, folks, it's up to us to advocate. And I know Hema's a very good advocate, so it's not like she was kept quiet. Because I know in the background stuff that we know about me and Mr. Bautista, she was very active in trying to keep her employment. But what can you do if they say no, because you're blind? Oh well, and that's not right. That's not. If also, like Mr. Bautista says, it also happens to anybody else in the general public. If you're a female, we're going to let you go because you're a female. You don't think to hit the news? You don't think that would be in the news, like CNN and all this stuff, because someone got laid off because they're female? Or because you're gender transgender, or you're gay, or you're white, or you're black, but we're still classification, folks. We still have rights, and we should advocate for other people too. Because I know Miss Hema, she told me and Mr. Bautista she's going to push it, and because she wants to improve the chance for someone else getting employed, right, Miss Hema?
Yes, correct.
And that's what I'm saying. And so, with that discussion, folks, like I said, just if you feel that you were terminated wrongly, fight it. Don't just sit there and say, "Oh well, I guess I'll go," whatever. No. It's it could be up to
talk to somebody, George. Tell somebody about that. Look, I've talked to you about such and such, and you said, hey, there's this place that you can call, or this agency that you can call. We need to share, and we need to communicate with each other, and tell each other. Like for instance, you can, if your printer's not working, you can call, and you're using Microsoft. There's an accessibility number that you can call, and they will help you set up your printer. We just need to know where to call, who to call, and who to talk to. A lot of it is just because we don't know, and we're afraid.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, Mr. Bus. You hit it right on the nail. Honestly, you said it perfectly. We don't know, and sometimes we find out oh wow, okay, that was there. I didn't know that, or like that Microsoft accessibility. Before I knew about it, I was banging my head against the wall. I'm like, I can't do this, but once I found out, the door has opened for me. Like, wow, I could do more stuff with my computer now. Of course, there's limitations because of technology and JAWS not be able to be accessible. But what it is, I guess what I'm trying to say is find a way, folks. Look on go to Google or ask friends. Talk, people, talk. I know it's hard, it's stressful sometimes being blind or vision impaired. But at the end of the day, folks, it doesn't hurt to just talk to your friends, your husband and wife, talk to your dog.
Talk to your counselors.
Or your counselor too. I mean, talk to your counselors and just let it out. Don't hold it in. Don't be, don't have low self-esteem because it's not your fault. It's not a bad thing, folks.
See, like
really
I used to think, George, that the now they call themselves the workforce, Texas workforce. I used to think that there was certain things that they would do for you, and that was it. But they're supposed to be looking for employment for you. They're supposed to be checking with to see if the employer has the accessible means for the individual. So you need to ask them. You need to, hey, did you check on this? Because I was actually, they had a job for me, running a cash register, and I said, okay, well, how am I supposed to do this? I'm blind. Does the register have voice? And the counselor actually didn't even know that. Oh,
I bet you, Mr. Bautista, I bet you, I don't know, Miss Hema, I don't have a degree. I know Mr. Bautista does. I don't know if you do, Miss Hema, but I guarantee this. If Mr. Bautista was to go apply for a job right now, I bet you they'll look at him, oh, he's blind. But they don't see that he has a bachelor's degree, that he was an educator for 35 years with special education. They don't see that. They see the white cane, and right away, oh, no. They, like me, they're going to see me, but they don't see that I was at the U.S. Department of Labor and then the workforce and now the Texas Attorney General. They don't see that. And that's what I mean. It's up to us, folks, to say, okay, you know what? This is what I can do. Let me try, at least. Don't look at my disability. Don't look at my limitations. Look at my abilities. That's all I ask. Okay, and if I can't do it, I can't do it. Okay, that's fine. Talking about not being able to do it, I want to transition to this next topic. When it comes to the challenges between a male and a female when it comes to blindness or visual impairment. The reason I say blindness or visual impairment because I've come to understand there's two different things. People interpret it different ways. I say either you're blind or you're not blind. It's not you're pregnant or you're not pregnant. It's not a halfway deal. But some people say low vision and some people say blindness. So visual impairment kind of falls in that in between. But anyways, when it comes to the challenges or what's a good word to use, folks? Mr. Bautista and Hema. Challenge is a good word. I don't want to make it seem like it's a bad thing, but
it's got to be a challenge. Like you mentioned, you're either blind or you're not. Well, I always felt like I was in the middle. I couldn't see far enough, yet I could see a little bit, but not enough to make a difference. So you're caught in the middle to where, for instance, you get a book and you're visually impaired. You can't read it at the same pace or from the same space that a blind, normal person can. So you either bring it up to your nose and then you can't, you're obstructing yourself, or you can't. So I could never read small print because I'd have to put it straight up to my face, and it's as you're growing up, it's embarrassing. You're not going to do it.
Well, I think more of this is stressful for your neck and your just having your because I remember when I could see small print, and then eventually when I started seeing a large print. It's just, just having that book in front of you, holding it, or using a magnifier or zoom text. After a while, it gets tired. Just your eyes, especially if you're low vision. So, it's I can see what you're saying. Embarrassed, I was at first. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be straight out, folks, and I'm not gonna lie to you. When I started using my cane, I was embarrassed. But you know what? Now, I'm proud of that cane.
Yeah,
but I'm proud of that cane because
one of the things that I want to mention to you is, so now that I can't see, and I advise visually impaired people, you use a reader, use one of those, JAWS reads to you. We were talking about downloading BART books. You don't need to bring that book up to your face. You download it and let it read it to you.
What do you use, Hema, to read books or to read? Do you use software, or you just, or how do you do it? Just out of curiosity.
I read a lot of books on the Bar mobile application with the
There you
Texas
go.
Talking Books.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
The only problem
it
with
is
me is
amazing.
Monday.
It is good and it's amazing. So far
Oh
this
yeah.
year, I think I've read like more than 50 books. It's like
Yes, ma'am.
when
And
I
the,
when
pro-
I
the,
when I
the,
lost my sight, I thought that I was never gonna be able to read again, and now just they can't stop me.
yeah, there we go. That's what I'm saying, folks. Just look out there. Look, you like to read, you lost your vision. Oh crap! What am I gonna do now? Barb's is it? Me and Mr. Bautista were doing it yesterday. Trying to download the books, folks. I tell you what, you could get knowledge over knowledge. The only bad thing with me is I'm like a little kid. I started listening, I fall asleep. I wake up, it's like chapter 10. I'm like, ah, crap. I missed chapter 9 chapters. But Hema, so when it comes for you, you say you've been 6 years. How has it changed regarding like dressing or going to shop, or even dating, or communicating with people? How did that change for you since now that your vision, you lost your vision?
With dressing, it's not much of a challenge because we have color identifiers, and if we organize and we know what kind of clothes we have, and so
Hmm.
I don't see it like something hard to get dressed.
How do you do?
My
Do you do like colors, or like do you set it apart? Just so people are listening that don't really have like a technique yet, but is there a way that you do it regarding like do you put your dress a certain like, or your clothes a certain like dark and then light, and then how do you do it?
Yes, I'm very organized. So I have in my drawers is one drawer for the jeans, and then you can also like on the label of the jean, if it's for example a black jean, you can cut one of the edges of the label, and then
Oh,
you know that
okay.
it's a black one. So and
How,
you
how about do you use the that program, George? Uh, that you
Oh,
can
seeing AI,
send me eye, or there's another one that
be my eyes.
be my
be
eyes.
my
Yeah.
eyes.
Do you use any
Yes,
of those?
yes, that is very helpful. I am when I use Be My Eyes, I use it most of the time to turn on my oven
Oh, okay,
when I want
okay.
to bake or something. Yes.
But you said something very, very, very true, Miss Emma. You said, and I've done this. Is like your shirts or your pants, or you cut the labels, or you tear it. I have a favorite shirt I like, and I know I right away from the label, I know which shirt it is. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm cheating too because my wife she's sighted, so I have a slight I'm cheating there. But the point
Advantage.
is,
Yeah.
I know I could feel like, for example, the buttons on a certain pants. Okay, these are my green pants, or these. So use those little tricks, folks. Don't sit there and like, oh man, what am I gonna do? There's ways to do it, folks. There's ways to.
I have a question for Hema though, George.
Sure.
You and I don't use it. Thank God we don't use it. But how do you do your makeup?
Hey, I do
Uh,
makeup. All
I
right.
don't know. I just do it. It's like we're women. We find a way. We
Yeah.
find a
Yeah, it's true. I
way.
wonder how did women do their.
Just
Yeah, it's
give
true. That's
some of
right.
the people need to hear about that, or some of the girls, maybe, or women that are just turned, went blind, and they want to look good, and they need to learn how to do their makeup.
Yes, just practicing, and of course, like we were saying before, we have apps that can help with that. Like you can call one person in Be My Eyes and ask that my makeup does looks even and looks good. So and they're very good on telling you the truth.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they are.
Yes.
Like you do your hair. Like me, I don't have any hair, but on purpose. Because see, that's the thing, Miss Emma. I'm gonna mention this. Back in the day, comb your hair. That for me, I was very what's that word? I worried how I looked. What's that word? I forgot what it is. But anyways, comb my hair a certain way. Now that I lost my vision, when I do, I just every 2 weeks or every week, I shave my head, and I don't have to worry about cutting my hair or combing it. But how do you do it, Emma? Is there a certain pattern that you use, or como?
No, just like it's because you get used to it. it is not hard like people think that it might be like the end of the world and you're not gonna be able to do it again. No, no, no. But if you just keep doing what you used to do before you lost your sight, you just go move forward, and then you learn it and you do it the same way. I haven't noticed like a difference or nothing, to be honest. No.
That's it. There's very good. Now,
How
one
about
thing.
your cooking, their cooking skills? How do you deal with that in the kitchen, or do you cook anymore, or do you?
Oh yes, that is my one of my challenges. Not because I can't cook or nothing, is because I have kids and they move everything around in the kitchen. I will say that is my biggest challenge, but no, for
Miss Hammer, can I
cooking,
interrupt you there?
yes.
Can I interrupt you there? It's funny you said that because we talked about that in the first show, folks. Look, I know that's why Mr. Bautista's laughing. Look, those who have spouses that are sighted, I hope you're listening to this, okay? Or kids that are sighted. You got to understand that we are very, like Miss Hema said it earlier, she's very organized. There's a purpose for that. There's a reason to rhyme for that. Like me, I'm very organized. When I first met my wife, she would leave stuff on the table like cups, like with water or milk. I would hit it, boom, and there goes play. And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and that's okay. But I would tell her that's why I like my stuff. Like if I leave my charger on the table, leave it there. Don't pick it up, leave it there, because I want to come back because I know I left it there. But if you move it, I'm like, "Oh, where is it?" And those I'm saying, those who are listening that are sighted, that have a spouse or kids that are visually impaired or blind, if they leave something there, leave it there. If there's something on the floor, move it. If you're going to open a drawer or a cabinet, tell us. Because one more time, my aunt, she was washing the washing machine. She left the door down
Oh,
to the
man.
washing machine. I walked in, boom, hit my chin. Like, whoo, that hurt. But the point is, sighted people don't realize is that it's not a bad thing. You just got to let them know, educate them that, you know what, like Mr. Bautista is telling me too. He goes in his kitchen and they move stuff. And it's very frustrating. Very frustrating because we left it there for a reason. It's like But what do you have to say about that, him, about moving stuff around in general, anywhere? It doesn't matter if it's in the kitchen or living room. What do you tell people?
Wherever.
Anywhere, just leave your stuff there, right?
Yes, sometimes I have to, like I say, use Be My Eyes or even call my kids. Where did you put this? I left it here. So I tell them all the time, I won't be calling you if you stop moving my stuff. And yeah, I cook everything. People ask me when they see that I'm blind, and then they ask me, "Well, does your daughter cook for you, or does your daughter cook for the whole family, or things like that?" And I'm like, "No, she's a teenager. She has to be a teenager. I'm the mom here. I'm the one in charge of cooking and everything. But yes, if you are organized, it is possible. And then
Like when
you
you cut
start.
let's say, like for example, when you cut, I'm just curious because I honestly, I've always wanted to learn how to cook, but I never have. I'm not gonna lie to you. I tell people if I cook, three things are gonna happen. One, I'm gonna burn the place, burn myself, or burn the food. You know,
Well, George, you're the only person that I know that can burn water.
literally, literally. But like when you cook, like Mr. Bautista, he told me a technique about when you do how do you do your eggs, Mr. Bautista? You're telling me the bread.
Well, I learned the technique from one of the counselors who taught me to put a hole in the bread, butter it, put a hole in it, and then drop of course, put the bread on the pan, and then just crack the egg right over the hole, and then with the spatula you'll be able to pick up the bread and the egg, flip it over, and then till it's cooked. And it's an easy technique, and it's you don't have to worry about where's the egg.
Yeah. What about you, Miss Hema? Do you have a technique that you like to use?
I think it will be the same one. There's also some rims that they sell. You can buy them in Amazon, or it's a rim that you can put on the pan,
Hmm.
and then the egg comes out perfectly rounded, like
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
And
yes.
and and see, that's good to hear that, Hema, because I didn't know that.
I didn't know either. I didn't know that.
See, there you go.
Oh, see, folks, that's you learn something. I learned something new. So,
Yes.
so I guess before we leave, Miss Hema, Mr. Bautista, is there any final words you want to give to our listeners?
I personally just want to welcome them and hope that they'll be listening to, because we'll be presenting other uh, uh, issues regarding blindness. But I also want to thank Hema for being here with us and sharing with us. It's very difficult sometimes to share, a defeat, so-called defeat, but she's a real strong individual, a very independent individual, and that's what we want our listeners to become independent. Don't let people lead you by the hand.
And you know why folks, especially those who are young, unfortunately, if you depend too much, if you have too many enablers when you're young, what's going to happen is, unfortunately, your parents or the person that's helping you, they're going to pass away. They're going to pass away. It's part of life. And if you're not independent, you're going to be in a world of heat. And that's why, it's very important, let your kid do it. Let them fall on their face, literally, or figuratively, and then help them up. Help them up, encourage them to be independent. And, like I tell people, let's start easy. Start with easy stuff, like, tie your shoe, and then make your bed, and little by little build on that. Take your dog out, feed your dog, little stuff like that. It's little by little, folks. And like my mom did that. When I was 18 years old, folks, she told me I need to get out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like, I was all upset, but I'm glad she did that because it made me independent. And the thing is, so if you have kiddos that are visually impaired and blind, let them walk, let them be themselves. I know it's gonna be scary, but you have to do that. You have to do that. And so, what do you say, Ms. Hema, when tell people that interact with you or anybody that's visually impaired? What's the main tip you could tell people?
That don't be afraid. Don't let fear paralyze you, because that's what happened. Then you get stuck and then do nothing. Everything is possible. And I'm gonna tell you a little story that I used to tell everybody. And I think I'm gonna be telling this story till the day I die.
That's okay. That's fine.
Because
Go
it's
ahead.
when I lost my sight, I drew a line, an imaginary line in front of me, and then I tagged myself as a. I said to myself, okay, this is everything I can be now, a blind woman. And the imaginary line that I draw in front of me, I thought that was the farthest I could go. So when I start receiving my training, when I start receiving orientation and mobility, when I start my technology classes, and I can tell you for sure that line just disappeared. It disappeared, and now I know that everything is possible. And if Mr. Bautista can do it, if George can do it, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Amen.
There's no
Amen to
limits.
that.
There's no limits.
And I know of an attorney that's blind. I know of a gentleman that graduated from UT Austin and USC as totally blind, and he had, folks. This man, let me tell you this, folks. I won't say his name because I don't know if he wants to release his name, but he graduated from USC and Texas or UT Austin. Okay, back in the '70s, folks, he was going to USC, and he had no cane. He went to a whole semester without a cane. He used his feet to navigate the campus, to go to his classes. I'm like, wow, if that one was, tell you what, that's like, it's amazing. It's amazing that someone has that ability to do, because we, like you said, we're fear. We limit ourselves. We limit ourselves sometimes, folks. Of course, don't put yourself in danger. Don't go, I'm going to run across that street. A car hits you. No. Do stuff that you could do. Like me, here at the house, I do stuff around the house, and people are like, wow, you could do it. Why? Is it because I'm blind? Mr. Bautista, he was an educator for 35 years. And why? Did you go blind when you were older? No, he's always been blind. But that's what we say, folks. We need to go beyond our own fears. Don't let people put limits on us. If we could do it, like iron. When I was younger, my mom made me iron. And when I first met my wife, I was ironing. She was very surprised. Oh, wow, yes, normal. I'm not going to lie to you. I burnt myself. It hurted. But I learned, don't put one of my mistake was I kept putting the iron towards the end of the iron. ironing board. So when I went to reach it, my elbow would tap it. And I'll burn my elbow. So guess what? I learned, don't put it there. Move it. So like Hema says, you learn things. You learn all these things, how to navigate, the challenges. But anyways, folks, thank you for listening. We're almost an hour here, just talking. Great stuff, Miss Hema, Mr. Bautista. So, Miss Hema, before we leave, any last parting words?
Thank you for inviting me. And like I said before, don't be afraid, and anyone can do it. Everything is possible, and remember that our blindness does not define us; it's just part of us.
Amen. Amen to that, Mr. Bautista.
That's it. I think you guys have done a great job, and looking forward to the next series that we're going to be presenting to our listeners.
And all I gotta say is, don't eat too much. No, don't drink too much eggnog. Everyone, please have a safe.
Yes,
Christmas.
save them all for us.
Yeah, right. Save and be safe, folks. If you don't have to travel, and just because right now, unfortunately, with COVID, the numbers are soaring in all parts of the U.S. and the world. Just be careful out there. Wash your hands, wear your mask. If you're not vaccinated, think about that. Think about getting vaccinated, folks, because we don't want to lose. Me and Mr. Bautista, you probably have too, Hema. We've lost friends that due to COVID. I lost 2 family members, so just be out there safe. We'll probably be here back after the New Year. Probably January the 7th, I believe it's a Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. We'll be back with a new show. Start the new year on a good point. And Mr. Bautista, Ms. Hema, thank you for being here. And you've been listening to No Vision Internet Radio, and we are gone. Bye-bye.
Hasta la vista,
Merry
dice Bautista.
Christmas.